So anyway, what I was saying was, um, when I was flying a sign and asking for money for laundry and to uh, whatever I needed to clean up, because when you haven't showered in a while, you have several layers of dirt and sweat and grime, and it doesn't come off easily. It really doesn't. You have to scrub and scrub and scrub, and the thing that works the best are microfiber cloths, like what they sell in the baby section at the local discount store. I'm just going to say it that way, because it's like sandpaper, but it doesn't feel like sandpaper. It's designed to clean up babies who wear diapers, so you aren't just pushing the poo and pee around. It's designed to absorb and get everything off the surface and pull it into the to scrub it, albeit gently. Pull it into the cloth and not just push it around. Moving the dirt around or moving the poo or whatever you're trying to clean up. So anyway, I thought I'm either going to testify in a courtroom, in which case I don't want to be stinking the place up. How credible would I look standing there stinking like Linus from Peanuts? Or sitting in a deposition, or a hearing, or a shadow hearing, whatever. I knew I didn't have charges pending, and I didn't get a subpoena from the sheriff's department. When you're like gonna testify in a public hearing, but this is all sealed, so I figured this is how they're like asking me to come testify. I couldn't. What else could it be? Oh, and another thing. When I showed the card to the marshals downstairs, I said, I don't have any paperwork. I don't have any charges pending. I don't have a subpoena. All I have is this business card, and I showed him the card from Officer View, and they looked at the numbers and said 2B. That's going to be upstairs in 2B in arraignments. Like that was a case number. 2B refers to an arraignment. So I get upstairs, and there was the two, what I now know to be supposedly public defenders, so God help anybody who used them. They were like, we don't know. If I were you, I would go into the circuit court, office of the circuit court, something or another. Anyway, you go past the courtroom, and there's a glass room with tables. There's the restrooms, and then on the other side you go into another glass door, and then there's a big, wall of, I guess they're what would normally be called the clerk's office. And I showed her the card, and she said that's an incident report. Like it's just a police number that's strictly for the police department. Okay, then why did the marshals say that has to do with arraignments? And then she kept saying, I don't see what's your name. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, first of all, this shit is sealed. This investigation is sealed. I don't think you're going to find anything because Judge Hoare's involved, other court staff, although I didn't mention the guy with the glasses. I was actually thinking of Hoare's Ethan. And public officials, Weinberger, police, health officials and people who have access to the criminal data bank and the court. So they're not going to they're not going to let the suspects in child sex trafficking and murder and racketeering see what they have on. Well, if it's sealed, I can't help you. Okay, fine. I just came in here because the public defender sent me in here. Which the public defenders didn't, when they looked at the card, they didn't say, oh, that's just a police incident report, and neither did the marshals downstairs. So it was just, and they seemed really nervous, like they all just wanted me the fuck out of there. I think they didn't want me to realize that guy was I don't know. So, anyway, I apologize for cussing everybody out, Vermonters out, for not helping me clean up for a court date, but that doesn't, just because I was wrong about that, doesn't justify saying shit like, well, Epstein wouldn't want to fuck you on, nobody wanted to fuck you on that island, all the other horse shit. It doesn't matter. I'm a Mensa candidate, federal investigator, cryptologist, not a lawyer. Don't give a shit about being a lawyer. Never wanted to be a lawyer, never wanted to be a detective, never wanted to be Chad Cronin's sworn and immunized investigator. Out here trying to run a Mensa level prodigious investigation, which I'm happy to do, on $2. Hundreds and hundreds of cars fly by me in with Mercedes emblems, BMW, Audi, Lincoln, whatever. And everybody's fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. We don't give a shit if our kids are being trafficked right through social services and the homeless shelters and the hospital. We don't give a shit if our elderly are being abused. We don't give a shit if we get cancer and we're victims of unbundling. Damn! We don't give a shit fighting Epstein's local Iran-Contras people. Fuck you, die, bitch. That was the message, and I got it again today. Now, good news is there was enough people who passed by who are like, I'm so sorry, I don't have any cash, but you keep going, great work. I wish you well. I mean, that's a huge difference. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense for the white dudes that are clearly spending no money on food and every dime they get on drugs and or alcohol, making $400 in a matter of hours. In the same spot where I stand. So it's not about, oh, times are hard. No, it's motherfuckers don't care. And that's because a lot of men see a dude standing out there and go, he's not going to get laid if he don't have some money. So you make sure he's got money so he gets the pee. So he gets plenty of tail. It's just one of those, that's that patriarchal thinking. The same shit that has the women telling me nobody wanted to fuck you on that island. Never mind, I'm clearly too old. And it's not like I'm saying I want to make $400 a day. That's not what I'm saying. When I was in Arizona, I would fly a sign once a week. Or Missouri, I'd fly a sign once a week. I'd fly, make $100, and I wouldn't fly again for about another week. Might be 5 days, might be 6 days. I didn't go out there just because I could make $100 a day doesn't mean I did it. I only did it when I needed to. But by God, I may have had a stack this thick of $1 bills and a big Ziploc bag full of quarters and dimes and nickels and pennies. But everybody did what they could, even if all they had was 50 cents or a dollar or some quarters or whatever change they had in their cup holder in their car. Nobody here thinks like that. They think, ooh, nobody'd want to fuck her. Or whatever. And I think most of those people, so many people are driving the fancy cars. They're part of the Epstein cartel. They're protecting their good thing. They don't give a shit about the greater good. And because your population's so small, there aren't enough poor revolutionaries that go by that will give me a dollar or, whatever change they have, 50 cents, 30 cents, 20, whatever. So Vermont's going to have to own that no matter what. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to email Officer View and let them know there's not going to be much I can do to help when I'm not making any money. And I'm not going to keep, since SPD and Autumn Caton want to set me up, and I have no doubt if I would have stayed on that bus, she would have called police and SBPD would have arrested me. Even though she was on that bus first and they put her on that motherfucking bus. So they could arrest me under false pretenses with DHS. And she's an ICE piece of shit. And she's the one on video coming on to me at Green Mountain Transit. And on probably plenty of bus footage too. And then copping an attitude because I'm like, I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested in anybody. That's why I made that post about just letting everybody know I have no intentions of getting romantically involved with anybody. That's why I did that, because of her. She's the one that went and bought me a gift. She lied and said a friend gave it to her. I really don't know what the situation was with that little sewing machine, but she's working with Palantir because she knew that was somehow on one of my wish lists because I never posted anything about it. And she was always gaslighting about 80, whatever. I'm not going to go into all of it all over again. So I'll probably just do my flying here in Essex. If I only make $2, then I guess I get a can of tuna. But those cunts are not going to get the satisfaction of killing me. They're just not. So I gotta stay here, do what I can out here flying a sign until I can get that restraining order written up, and I'm gonna make it super short. I'm just gonna go in and try to make it 1 or 2 paragraphs. I'm not going into Chad's whole fucking resume and who all he's connected to and all that bullshit. And say I'm being stalked and Judge Hoare's involved, Weinberger's involved, and the guy who works in the office across from courtroom 2A at 16 Cherry Street is involved, along with Paul Dragon.